Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another video. Today, I'm going to be doing an election prediction matchup between Gavin Newsom and JD Vance. Gavin Newsom, the current governor of California, JD Vance, the current vice president of the United States, two very possible contenders to be their nominees in the upcoming presidential elections in 2028. Vance, as the vice president, obviously very contingent on whether or not he gets Trump support, but looking like, it is favorable to him at the moment. And then Gavin Newsom, likely going to be running in a pretty filled primary. However, he does have very wide name recognition, very large base of support, especially when you look at primary polls, and a relative charisma that I do think could propel him. Now, he doesn't really know, as I've said in previous videos, I think he doesn't really know what lane he wants to run in, if he wants to run on the left or if he wants to run for the center. I think it'd be in his best political interest to run for the center because I think AOC is going to run in 2028. I think there's going to be a lot of contenders. It's going to be people like Pete Buttigieg, Wes Moore, Gavin Newsom, AOC, Kamala Harris, Josh Shapiro, Tim Walz, possibly Andy Bashir, possibly Gretchen Whitmer, a whole range of people probably are going to be planning to run. I don't think Bernie's going to run. I don't think Elizabeth Warren. You could see Cory Booker run in 2028. You could see John Ossoff run in 2028. So Gavin's going to have to stand out. And I think he'll do that by being more of a moderate candidate. And although the Democrat Party has shifted, in my opinion, relatively pretty far to the left, I think there is a very, very open lane for him to do that. And it's all going to depend on how he finishes up his term as governor of California in the final few months and really how he acts. And you can see in some of his actions in California, they've at least appeared to be more moderate. With that said, let's get into the safe states. I'm going to make this a quick video. Maine's first will be safe. A lot of these northeastern states, leaving New Jersey out of it. Only reason I'm leaving New Jersey out of this is just because of the fact that, Trump performed pretty well in that state against Kamala Harris in 2024. Now, I don't know if that's going to stick. Right now, it does look like Eric Sierratelli, I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly, is actually favored to win the governorship there. So we'll see. We'll take a look at the trends in that state. Now, I don't know what it'll be like in 4 years or 3 years at this point, but we'll see what happens. With all of that being said, Vance at 149, Newsom at 177 when it comes to the safe states. Likely states: New Mexico, Virginia, New Jersey in this scenario will be likely. Minnesota will be likely, as well as Maine at large. That gets him to 221 electoral votes. Texas is likely for Vance. Texas and Florida, a massive combination of votes, propelling Vance to 219. The rest will fall in the lean tilts areas, mostly lean. I'm going to be pretty frugal with my tilt characterizations. New Hampshire will be a tilt Newsom state. Nebraska, or not a tilt, a lean Newsom state. Nebraska second will be lean Newsom. Lean Vance, these states over here, although Gavin Newsom, I guess, has that Southwestern appeal. I think Vance is going to perform well in Nevada and Arizona, especially if he has Trump support, which he will if he's the nominee. When you look at how Trump did in 2024, he did very well in those states. I think he's going to continue that momentum. Heading into this areas, I think Vance will win North Carolina by a lean margin. I think Gavin Newsom will win the state of Wisconsin by a lean margin. I think he'll win the state of Michigan by a lean margin. Again, I don't think that Newsom has the substantial appeal that Trump had, or Vance has the substantial appeal that Trump had in the Rust Belt. But I do see him winning the election against Newsom, a nail biter, 287 to 251. I think Newsom would be a good candidate with considering the fact that he would run in a more moderate lane. Now, I do think AOC would be a good candidate if she ran in the left lane. So it just depends. If you watch the other predictions that I've made, with that being said, this is my election prediction between these two candidates at this point in time for the 2028 presidential election. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, share it with your friends, comment below your thoughts on the prediction, and stay tuned for more videos. Have a great day.